Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your mid-December 2020 Oracle and Tarot reading. My name is Tessa, and this is Tessa's Tarot. Welcome to the eternal city of Obsidian, aka my home. This is the last video for 2020. Oh my God. So many lessons to take away this year. I have been, the last couple weeks, I have been in quite the mood. I've been in my feels, okay? I've been in my feels the last couple of weeks. And I just, like, the things that I was going through on a personal level was very, very significant in reference to how I decided to go about this last series of videos for 2020. And it led me down like my own personal inner journey, my own spiritual journey, emotional journey, inner wounded child journey, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in another video that I'm gonna do. My Chiron, okay, my wounded healer comet Chiron has been like in my face, and I've had to kind of face and heal some deep childhood wounds, and yeah, that's been really fun. But it did take me down this path that made me realize the theme for this series of videos for mid-December. It took me down a very specific path through myself, through my own birth chart, and also connecting it to the bigger picture that's going on in astrology. So connecting it to what's actually going on right now in our cosmos. And there was kind of like one of those aha moments, and I was like, oh my God, there is a much bigger lesson that is being learned here. And I didn't come, like, it's really funny because you see, a lot of people on social media, at least I'm seeing a lot of people on social media, and I feel like this is a pretty normal phenomenon for people around Thanksgiving and Christmas time, towards the end of the year, generally speaking, to be all like, oh, I'm thankful for what I have. I really realize how thankful I am. And that's kind of a normal theme for Thanksgiving and Christmas time. But even more so with 2020 because of everything that we have experienced this year, all the lessons that we have been forced to face, and I think even more so this year, people are realizing as we wrap up 2020 how blessed they are and how grateful they are to have what they need to say. I know I'm saying that in a very kind of like condescending way, but it's actually I'm just like, I'm kind of teasing, but I'm kind of like teasing myself, paradoxically, while I'm teasing them because of what I'm going to say next. So, they are like really grateful and appreciative, for what they have, okay? And these are some big realizations. But the way that I came to my own conclusion, it's like not exactly in the same way. I don't get triggered in the same way that other people. Thanksgiving and Christmas, that doesn't trigger me to feel grateful or blessed. That doesn't, everything that has happened for me in 2020 all the things that I have experienced this year, the lessons that I have learned. My lessons for me personally came to me through a very specific placement in my chart, okay? And I mean, obviously, I'm not going to use this whole video to talk about me and my chart, but if you do want, I am actually going to film a video after I'm done with these mid-December readings. I'm gonna film like a get to know me through astrology video, because I think that if I can like help other people by exposing my own chart and talking about my own life experiences and how astrology has allowed me to get to know myself on a more intimate level, and tarot as well, and if that can like help people who might be experiencing the same thing, awesome. And also because I do plan on doing birth chart and natal chart readings for my viewers, for you guys, over video, and you can kind of get like a little sneak peek at how I would present like my analysis of the chart. Obviously it would be on myself. It wouldn't be the same way as if I were doing it for somebody else, but it's just kind of like a little like preview type of thing. And then also it's like you're getting to know me, and then hopefully I'll be able to get to know you guys in the future if that's something that you're interested in. So yeah, that's kind of something that I thought about doing even before I started these mid-December videos. And then I decided to do it after. I was like, you know what? No, I want to wrap up 2020. There's so many things that I just want to like, you know, say about 2020. Let's do these mid-December tarot readings, and then I can jump into like a whole new phase with my channel. Okay. So I kind of feel like I'm channeling your guys' energy right now with like the quick thinking and the talkative nature. But anyway, it was through that experience, and it was through that specific aspect in my chart, which is my Chiron, which is in Taurus, that led me to really have to like look at what it is I value, what it is I really, really value, and things like that. And then I like realized, well, you know, because we're about to enter into, you know, a very significant cosmic event on December 21st, on the winter solstice, as soon as the sun enters Capricorn, Jupiter and Saturn are going conjunct in Aquarius, and it is shifting our, like, you know, it is shifting like our structural and evolutionary paradigm from earth signs into air signs. So Saturn and Jupiter go conjunct every 20 years, and they always go conjunct in the same element, in the triplicity of that element. So for the last 200 years, it was always earth signs. And on December 21st of 2020, it's kicking off in Aquarius the next 200 years of air signs, which is going to happen every 20 years. So this is like a really big thing, right? So here I am thinking about how, like, okay, well, you know, let's think about everything that has happened in 2020, you know, and I feel like it is going to be really important, not because of Thanksgiving, not because of Christmas, but like just generally speaking, because of like this bigger picture that's going on. It's going to be really important for us to really understand what the lesson is that we need to learn. We weren't alive 200 years ago when the paradigm first kicked off into earth signs, and where our material world really started to develop and come into fruition, and we reached a point where we have just like consumed our poor earth, and earth has just had enough of us. The virus broke out this year, just, you know, people being treated unjustly, just like Earth has had enough, you know, and we are here to learn the lesson, okay? We weren't here to kick off this 200-year cycle of Earth energy, but we're here to learn the lesson. So the lesson that we're learning, we need to take the value of the lesson that we are learning, and we need to get rid of the stuff that is not going to help us, and we need to kind of like recenter our values and realign ourselves with our deeper values as we go into this next air age, because this air age is going to be very mental, it's going to be very intellectual, it's going to be very progress oriented. But if we're not rooted in our values, like air is very, it can be very unpredictable. It can take on more devilish qualities if you're not careful. And here's an example of that. It's kind of like, okay, so even like, as in Earth, we've been consuming so much of Earth, but we've also been consuming so much information to the point where it's like we have become the belly of the beast. Like we just keep consuming, and we keep feeding our soul. There's no end. It's like the information that we're consuming. Are we really reflecting on it? Are we just like reading things because we're just trying to like stay up with the trend? We're trying to stay up with media. Like I just feel like people aren't thinking for themselves anymore. I feel like there's no free thought anymore. I feel like people are just regurgitating information, just spitting out the exact same shit that the last person said, and people aren't really like allowing themselves the time to reflect, to process, to allow themselves to really feel, like allow the information to really kind of like settle in, so you can decide how you as an individual perceive that information, how you as an individual like feel about this. It's like form your own thoughts, form your own perspective, and that's something that I feel like has gotten lost. I feel like value and meaning is kind of getting lost in translation over here, and 2020 was kind of a wake-up call. It's like it's time to slow down. It's time to slow down. It's time to go within. It's time for you to come back to yourself, to align back with yourself, with your own individuality, with your own values. And the other reason why I think I really truly see this as the bigger lesson that is going to be needed in the years to come is because Uranus is in Taurus right now, and Uranus is the planet of revolution, of change, of restructuring paradigms, of social justice, of humanitarian, like in favor of humanitarian pursuits, technology, innovative thinking, progressive thinking, new ideas, new visions, rebellious also, like breaking out into your own more unique, authentic kind of way, and that's in Taurus. And Taurus is the sign of personal value and possessions and self-worth and beauty. It's ruled by Venus, like, and it's a fixed earth sign. So our lesson that we're taking away from these last 200 years of being in this earth energy, it's going to be channeled through Taurus. It's going to be channeled through Taurus, okay? So, yeah. And I guess I came to that realization because my Chiron is in Taurus. So, like my, and your Chiron is going to represent your wounded child, okay? So, I have some deeper wounds to resolve around personal possessions. I have deeper wounds to resolve around things constantly being taken away from me. So like my value system is a little bit jaded because like I know what it's like to constantly, I have like to be abandoned, to have things taken away from me, for things to feel like they are impermanent and not like nothing is permanent, okay? And I'll, if you want to tune in to my get to know me video, I'm going to dive a little bit more into like the details of my life, but yeah. So I have to kind of like, it's a really good journey to be on. It's a really good journey to be on in terms of really really understanding your deeper values and really allowing it to come into your consciousness, like really actually allowing what you value, not just what you value in terms of like your possessions, but what you value about yourself. Like, what are your virtues? Like, what do you value? Like, if you had everything taken away from you, what is it that you value inside yourself, where you can go anywhere in the world, where you can like start a completely new path, and you will have, because you value those things in yourself, you know that you're going to be okay because you have your virtues to go with you anywhere. Like, if you just had your body, and you didn't have like, you know, your possessions, or if you only had like a couple of things, or if you only had a backpack, like how are you going to rise from that? Like, how are you, and you know, that is what that's what a lot of people had to go through this year, had to experience this year, is having things taken away from them, okay? And it's just something really good to think about, okay? And, you know, it's interesting for someone like me who has already a kind of disconnection. I already have this like, it's like it's weird because I'm very connected to my possessions, but I'm also disconnected. It's like I feel like I can easily just move on and start a new life if I had to. Like, there's almost this unconscious thing inside me where sometimes I wish I could just like get rid of everything and just like go live on an island and just like grab a backpack and just completely start a new life somewhere. I mean, I'm sure we all have those fantasies, but I'm like in a phase of my life where I'm really like, I'm feeling more rooted, because most of my life I lived my life very like unrooted. Like my roots was in my soul. My roots was in my blood. Like, I didn't really feel a stable home anywhere. And I still have a kind of jaded perception of that. But anyway, I'm going to stop right now because I can keep going for that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for taking up your video about me. So yeah, but if you want to dive a little bit more into these concepts and into this whole idea that I have going on, you can watch that video. So anyway, so yeah, so the theme for this video is values, you know, and for your first card you have release, okay? And like on top of, you know, everything that I'm talking about as far as like value and not the fact that we have depleted our earth, you're gonna see like I'm only gonna pull 3 cards for this particular reading, just because it just kind of falls in line with, you know, take the information that I'm giving you for this video and like, you know, really take the time to reflect and get to know yourself, because I really want this channel to be about like you getting to know yourself on a more intimate and deeper level, and, you know, also to really allow an open channel of energy between me and you guys, and to kind of like be on a journey together, like of, you know, a journey of exploring yourself and exploring others and like learning as you go, and learning like I'm learning things constantly every day. Like, I'm going to start incorporating more and more astrology into my videos. I'll probably start doing different kinds of videos. I'm excited to just explore. I am a Sun Sagittarius. Keep in mind that we are not just our sun, but yeah, and that is like my mission for this channel, is to bring value, is just to bring value back into things, you know, like you can still be creative, you can do all the things that you want to do, you can be creative, you can start a business, you can express yourself, you can share your soul with the world in hopes to like help or educate others. and there can be value in that. There can be value in that. Okay, so this is like the big lesson, and this is what I'm here to promote value. So with that being said, this is kind of like my own personal spiritual journey and realization for our 2020 year as I wrap up 2020 before I start filming my 2021 videos. So I'm only going to pull 3 cards, one from the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, one from Enchanted Map Tarot, and one from Enchanted Map Oracle, and one from Influence of the Angels Tarot. And I promise you, like, one card can just provide a whole world of information, okay? Like, and this is just something to know in the future. So in the future, if, like, when I film videos, if I only pull like a few cards, or there's actually quite a few tarot readers I know on YouTube who don't pull like a lot of cards. They'll spend more time on one card because there's a lot that you can get out of just one card, and I like that. I like that feeling of like placing value, like going deeper into one thing and placing more value on that. So release. I feel this release is kind of like getting things out of your soul, getting things out of your heart, saying the things that you want to say. Like, the Virgos that I do know, most of the Virgos are very expressive, but like I said before, we are made up of so many different parts in our chart. We are not just one thing. And I also have some Virgo friends who are not very expressive. They keep a lot to themselves, but I know a lot of Virgos who are very expressive. You know, Virgo is a mutable earth sign. And as a mutable earth sign, ruled by Mercury, which is air, which is the magician, like, you guys are really multidimensional. You're really multidimensional. I don't even know if you know how multidimensional you are, because like you have these like characteristics of these different elements, okay? Like mutable, when I think of a mutable sign, I think like, okay, so mutable in Earth is going to be portrayed as like routines, like your everyday kind of more practical nature, how you move about the day, what you do throughout the day in your routines. Like, I don't know, you guys just encompass, okay, because like the way that I think about it, I think of, okay, so your card in tarot, your court card is the Knight of Pentacles. That's a Virgo card, okay? And all the knights have an underlying energy of fire. So like the mutable nature of the earth, like even though that Knight of Pentacles is a little bit slower moving, and he's a little bit more practical minded, he's a little bit more organized, a little bit more planned out, he still has this like fire drive, okay? And like his mind, and because he's ruled by Mercury, his mind is very active. You know, there's this very active quality to the way that you process things and the way that you kind of conduct yourself in your head. And when I see this release card, I just think of this as like you needing to get this out. Like, it's important for you to communicate who you are through your thought process. Like it's part of your evolution, it's part of your development, it's part of you getting to know yourself on an expressive level to be able to literally communicate as you're thinking. So it's like, try to like as your mind is processing stuff, you can also talk about it, and I think it can help you if you're feeling a little bit more like bogged down or stuck, you know, like I feel like it can really, like having all that in your head, having these analytical heavy thought processes taking place in your mind without actually like verbalizing them with, you know, a friend or whoever. It can start to like, it might start to like overwhelm you in your head and in your emotions. It could start to confuse you. So I feel like this release card has a lot to do with that. It's kind of like, you know, value your own system, value your own self, okay, your self-worth. That's a little bit more obvious. Like value your process. Value your thinking process. Value the way that you process your thoughts, the way you process your emotions, like your creative process. Like find value in communicating that and how you communicate that. Peaks of joy. Okay, I think that like it's gonna be really freeing. I think that it's gonna free you in a lot of ways, is just to, you know, kind of fall into that more expressive sort of system and mind frame. Especially with this Peaks of Joy card. Peaks of Joy. Okay. It's just gonna, it's going to make you feel more in your body, and it's gonna make you feel more in control of your body, because you're kind of like, it's like you're allowing your instincts and your intuition to just speak through you, to just like speak through your head instead of being in your head all the time. You're just like allowing it to, you're allowing your body the freedom to manifest and to express itself in the way that it wants to manifest and express itself. This is like the magician. This is kind of like the magician, which is you guys are ruled by Mercury, which is the planet of communication. He's the god, the messenger god. He represents the major arcana card of the magician, and like, I feel like this is his will on earth. Like it is his desire to want to be to fully encompass all the different elements and to like express them, you know, like, you know, to synchronize the emotions, the mentality, the mental, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual. Yeah. I mean, that's why the magician has those powers, because he can bring all the different elements together and bring it together into an expression that is like good for all. I guess that's debatable, but that's good for you. Look at this. This is your card, Virgo. Venus in Virgo, the Nine of Pentacles. This is all about just like loving yourself, loving your independence, finding beauty in your, you know, maybe if you have animals at home, it's about valuing your possessions. It is about valuing your possessions, you know, and this is really kind of like really telling you to, you know, it's really kind of asking you to see the beauty. Like, what is it that you find beautiful? This is Venus. So what is it that you value? This was us talking about your actual personality and your inner world and your personal world, but this is kind of like, now it's asking you, well, what do you value about your home? What do you value about your work? What do you value about the clothes that you wear? You know, like, what do you find beautiful? Like, how do you define beauty? Because that's also going to be an important part of how you express yourself, you know, like, um, how you want to present yourself to the world is also it's reflected in your possessions, it's reflected in your home, and um, you know, how you carry yourself. So yeah. So this is your reading. um, yeah, this felt really good, to be honest with you. This reading felt really good. I really enjoyed the energy. There's a couple of Virgo astrologers that I watch on YouTube, and I really enjoy their energy. So like, I kind of felt like I was channeling it a little bit, but yeah, this is your reading. So I hope that, you know, you found it valuable, and you were able to take a lesson away, and you can take the time to reflect on this, and hopefully you stick around and watch more of my videos and get to know me. Bye, guys.